In the headlines, local tourism officials reflect on the just concluded winter season. New equipment for the Barbados Meteorological Services. A warning about the re-emergence of measles. And in sports, Emily Odwin set to become the first Bajan to play in one of golf's international majors.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tisha Hines with the details to the news. A bright tourist season. That's how Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Javon Griffith, described the just concluded winter season. Speaking at the association's second quarterly meeting, Mr. Griffith said the conference passengers' arrivals were up year on year, but they are concerned over the levies recently introduced on some sectors of the hospitality industry. Trevor Thorpe reports.
The winter season was a good one, with figures up in nearly all areas. Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Javon Griffith, says stayover arrivals were up, especially in February and March.
A total of 77,967 stayover arrivals were recorded, reflecting an increase of 4,274 over the 73,693 arrivals in January 2024. The United Kingdom remained our leading source market, contributing 31,695 visitors, though this is a marked slight decline from the 32,677 the previous year.
Mr. Griffith says cruise arrivals and infrastructural developments in the industry are up as well.
Landed cruise passengers rose to 39,405 compared to 37,786 in January 2024. Barbados welcomed 83 cruise ship calls in January compared to 71 during the same period last year.
However, there's an issue of concern, the $10 levy on the rental car sector. Mr. Griffith is offering a counter-proposal.
A fixed $10 levy per contract. This structure is administratively simpler, fairer across different rental durations, and easier to integrate transparently into pricing systems. And number two, a reduced daily levy of $5 with exemptions. A lower daily rate combined with exemptions for long-stay visitors or capped weekly charges would help avoid excessive penalizing key market segments while still generating meaningful revenue.
The chairman says Barbados must be careful not to overburden the hospitality sector, and the BHTA is willing to meet with government to discuss the concerns. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Thank you, Trevor. Government continues to invest heavily in modern technology to enhance the country's early warning system. This as it provides the Barbados Meteorological Services with its second unmanned surface vessel and a new spotter buoy. The BMS Spotter Buoy, an unmanned service vehicle, were launched during a ceremony at the Barbados Coast Guard headquarters, Mighty Griner Highway. Our Anesta Henry was there and files this report.
Barbados strengthening its early warning system is a move to save lives. It is also a major undertaking to lessen the country's dependence on the National Hurricane Center for weather forecasting. That's according to Minister of Home Affairs and Information, Wilfred Abrams.
With what is happening in the U.S., we do not expect, or we are not depending on the accustomed collaborations we used to have before. We're not depending on the information from NOAA in the same as it was before. We're not depending on any information sharing from the National Hurricane Center. We, the Caribbean territories, have to put ourselves in a position where we can stand alone and predict and do modeling and forecasting for ourselves. It is not sufficient for us to look to a big brother to feed us in drips and drops, to withhold that information when the big brother wants to, and to punish us by way of it. This is not a game we're playing, this is lives.
Minister Abrams says government has provided the Barbados Meteorological Services with more financing over the past 4 years than it has ever received since being established in 1933.
The welfare was out to see in advance of Beryl going as close to the storm as we can get. That is why we knew, even before the conditions triggered a warning inland. We waited for the fishermen to come in. Before we had calls to give the small craft advisory and to call ships back in the port, we knew we were dealing with above ordinary, extraordinary swells and conditions, and we asked our fishermen to come in even before that message went out to Barbados. That's what early warning and synergies are about.
Director of the BMS, Sabu Best, says the unmanned service vehicle, Seawolf, and the spotter buoy are two fascinating pieces of equipment.
If I was looking from the outside, I would say, wow, it's a fascinating piece of technology, especially the enhancements we've done with this drone, because we've learned so much over the last 2 years, so much. This represents a lot of improvements, a lot. I'm sure I'll discuss with you in greater detail what's on this vessel, but it's a collaboration. And what these platforms will unlock, not only for the BMS, but even the public, and even for industries around this, fishing industries, tourism, etc., is going to be unprecedented. And let us lead, not BMS, but Barbados.
The new spotter buoy and the USV were commissioned today. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
As the Queen Elizabeth Hospital moves to improve and modernize health care on the island, it has added another piece of equipment to its arsenal. Donated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the new GE Revolution Maxima 128-slice CT scanner will serve to meet the evolving needs of people, with CT scans in the Accident and Emergency Department. The scanner was installed and commissioned in February and marks the first time that the A&E department will have that type of technology, but brings the number of CT scanners in the QEH to 2. Rachel Agard reports.
Services at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital's Accident and Emergency Department have been boosted with a donation of a CT scanner. The donation forms part of the ongoing partnership with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Minister of Health and Wellness, Senator the Most Honorable Jerome Walcott, says the donation of equipment is testament to partnerships between faith-based organizations and the government.
I've been told that between 2022 and this year, the Church of Jesus Christ made donations totaling approximately $1.7 million to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and that is substantial, and you should be commended for the generosity. These donations have touched multiple areas of our healthcare delivery, from providing food hampers and important equipment for patients under the Transitional Community Care Program to supporting the gastrointestinal unit.
Senator Walcott says officials are not only focusing on boosting the needs of the A&E department, but other areas in the hospital as well.
Our efforts include the acquisition of a linear accelerator delivered in November last year. The construction and other work is ongoing as I speak, in preparation for its installation and commissioning, expected to be completed by July this year. This will provide appropriate radiation treatment for our cancer patients who are currently sent abroad for such treatment. In addition, funds, Mr. Clark, were recently allocated to the QH for the procurement of an MRI this financial year, a first for this hospital. This new equipment will most definitely help to transform the quality of health service being provided at this institution.
Area Authority 70 of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Elder Claude Gamiet, says as a church they want to continue to serve and have plans for other projects and partnerships in Barbados.
The church is committed to help the people wherever we are and wherever are the people, to help them have a better life, not only better health, but education and all the things that make life better. We believe that families are essential, and we want to strengthen the tissue of the community. And that's why we serve here in Barbados. We are committed to do more as we are allowed to.
Since its commissioning in February, the CT scanner has already performed over 450 studies. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
That's really great news. Well, time to talk politics. The people of Trinidad and Tobago have spoken in a stunning political upset that has redrawn the political map of the Twin Island Republic. The United National Congress, UNC, led by Kamla Persad-Besessar, has swept to victory in the 2025 general election, toppling the People's National Movement, PNM, from government after a decade in power. Preliminary figures show 25 seats for the UNC, 14 for the PNM, and 2 for the TPP, the Tobago People's Party. Our Crystal Hoyt is in Trinidad, and she files this report.
I'm here at the United National Congress headquarters in Trinidad, where celebrations have erupted following a decisive victory at the polls. Cheers and chants are echoing through the venue as party leader Kamla Persad-Besessar addressed jubilant supporters. In her victory speech, she said this win is for senior citizens to keep their pensions, for the creation of 50,000 jobs, and for public servants to get an increase.
Now that the UNC has won, everybody wins. From day one, we'll be focused on delivering on our promises, working to make every citizen's life better, brighter, more prosperous. I give you the assurance tonight that no one will be left behind. No one will be left behind. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins.
Over at the People's National Movement headquarters, tears could be seen. The People's National Movement political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, officially conceded defeat. Dr. Rowley stated that the PNM will not argue with the electorate and extended well wishes to the United National Congress. Outgoing Prime Minister Stuart Young echoed that statement, affirming that PNM will now focus on rebuilding and regrouping for the future.
One thing we know how to do is to fight for country. Yes. That is what we will do from today. Yes. We'll get ready. I look forward to be there with you all, as I've done, and we will fight hard for Trinidad and Tobago and for the PNM, okay? Thank you all very much.
This will be the second time Kamla Persad-Besessar will be serving as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
Well, thank you, Crystal, but that's not the end. The United National Congress, UNC, has triggered recounts in 3 constituencies. According to the Elections and Boundaries Commission, or EBC, the UNC has asked for recounts in the San Fernando East, Malabar or Masika, formerly Dabadi or Omera, and Aruca or Lapino, formerly Lapino Bonaire West seats. With the re-emergence of measles in the Americas region, a senior health official has warned Barbados is under the threat of an invasion of the disease. Pediatrician and neonatologist Dr. Clive Cave says the threat is real, given that measles is highly contagious. He was a guest on CBC TV8's Morning Barbados.
We have a susceptible population, even for people doing all the right things, because children under a year of age cannot be immunized. Well, not routinely. In an emergency, we would try something and then catch up later. But with measles, which is so highly contagious, I don't know if people realize that in a group of 10 unimmunized children, which is a very small nursery group, one child coming in with measles and being there for an hour and leaving, that vaccine will hang around for maybe 2 hours after they've left, and 9 out of those 10 children will catch it because they're so highly contagious. And 20% of those children will probably end up in hospital with a pneumonia, and it has the possibility of other complications as far down as death.
Health Sister Deidre Aline says nurses have been playing a big part in the vaccination drive.
The health sisters who go into the nurseries and the primary school setting to ensure that those children who are admitted to those institutions are covered. So they make arrangements with the principal, or they make arrangements with the person in charge of the day nurseries and stuff like that. We also go about reading what we call our vaccine register, where we come in, we go through the list of children who should have been vaccinated by now for the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. And if that's not the case, we make a phone call to encourage those parents to bring the children in. Sometimes it may be a situation where the child may have attended private or may have migrated to a different country. We need to know those numbers. And if they're attended private pediatrician or private practice doctors, what we do, we encourage them to bring the book so we can update our registers.
Police are tonight conducting investigations into an unnatural death. Inspector in charge of the District C police station, Inspector David Gooding, says personnel at the station received a call about 9:20 a.m. indicating a man had passed away at nursery number 2, 4 Road, St. Philip.
Police officers from District C responded. Having arrived at the residence, they found the lifeless body of a 36-year-old male in circumstances which we will be investigating as an unnatural death. At this particular point in time, I can say that we are not suspecting any foul play. However, we will be treating it as an unnatural until otherwise can be proven. What I'd like to add at this stage is I'd like to offer my condolences on behalf of the Commissioner of Police and the Senior Command Team of the Barbados Police Service to the family members of the deceased, and obviously to his immediate family, friends, and other relatives.
Fire officers averted a major fire after responding to a blaze at a wooden wall structure in Little Bay, St. Lucie yesterday evening. Barbados Fire Service Divisional Officer Patrick Edwards says they received a call about 4:50 p.m. about a structural fire, and officers responded with 2 water tenders and a rescue tender from the Bridgetown Fire Station and the Orch Hall Fire Station, respectively.
On our arrival here, one wooden and wall structure was involved in the incident. I am, however, happy to report that there were no injuries and the fire was confined to one room inside of the house. Quick intervention by neighbors assisted this process. Hence, I can report this afternoon with confidence that the neighborly watch has worked this afternoon.
And with that in mind, Mr. Edwards urges all Barbadians to keep an eye out for their neighbors.
Particularly when there are elderly persons involved, and also to pay attention of the electrical appliances that they are using inside of their home. I am not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that that is the cause of the fire, but I'm just reminding persons that electrical devices can also be a problem when not properly used.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
It's time now for a look at sports, so we're happy to see that Anne-Marie is here.
Thank you, Tisha. Good evening to everyone. We start with some good news as top Barbados golfer Emily Odwin has created history as she's the first Bajan player to qualify for a major golf championship. Odwin won yesterday's U.S. Open qualifier at the Olympic Club in San Francisco, being tied first at the top of the leaderboard with Sarah Lim of the United States, after going back to the clubhouse on second and the final day on 3 under par from 2 18-hole rounds. Odwin, who had a 4-shot lead on Kim after the first round, 3 under par versus 1 under par, had to rely on her consistency as Kim shot 4 under in round 2 to get to the tie. The top 3 finishers earned an automatic berth to the 80th U.S. Women's Open Championship, which is slated for May 29th to June 1st at Earns Hill, Wisconsin. The other player who will be joining Odwin and Lim is Paula San Pedro of Spain, who finished third at 2 under par. 76 golfers participated in the qualifier. Now, Scott Hend hit a spectacular final 64 to secure a two-shot victory and take home the Barbados Legends title over the weekend. Several high-profile players participated in the second edition of the event, which was hosted by Ian Woosnam, the former Ryder Cup winner and golf legend. The Australian Hend ended the prestigious European Seniors event at 11 under par, which was played at the Apes Hill Golf Course. Having started some 4 shots off the lead, Hend tore through the field with a series of birdies for a course record round, coming home in just 30 to banish the painful memory of last year's playoff defeat to Peter Baker. Greg Owen, who surged into the lead at the start of the day and at one point led by 3, finished 2 shots back of Hend on 9 under after an eventful final round 69. Scotland's David Drysdale on his Legends Tour debut tied for 3rd on 8 under alongside Lionel Alexandre, who hit 4 birdies on the back 9 to join Drysdale in 3rd. Now, former Ryder Cup player Stephen Gallagher also threatened after getting to 7 under, but late bogeys derailed his challenge. The Barbados Legends tournament is part of the European Seniors Golf Tour. Now, as Barbados wrestling team continues their preparation for the upcoming 2025 Junior Pan American Games, they recently secured 3rd position in the Paraguay Team Judo competition, which was part of a special training camp hosted by the Paraguay Olympic Committee. The team, under the guidance of Coach Yaima Payne, included Adrian Maynard in the 77 kg, Matthew Arundel in the 97 kg, and Adrian Williams in the 130 kg men's Greco-Roman, and Cody Marshall in the 86 kg, and Jaden Allen in the 125 kg freestyle. They finished behind Cuba and Panama, with the other competing teams being hosts Paraguay, Bolivia, Brazil, and Argentina. Barbados has earned 2 weight class entries in the 225 kg freestyle and the 230 kg weight divisions for the upcoming Junior Pan Am Games, also set for Paraguay from July 11th to the 20th. With the Roger Boys Barbados Classic just a couple of weeks away, the bodybuilding and fitness athletes have been hard at work in the gyms, putting in the necessary prep to be ready to show off their tip-top shape. This year, the children are in the mix, and organizers of the Classic are ensuring that they too will be bringing their A game through a special training program. Last year saw the introduction of the children's fitness and acroflex categories for the Roger Boys Classic, and this year they'll be taking it a step further by adding to the lineup the children's bodybuilding. And to ensure that those young ones keen on flexing their muscles and showing their poise and definition do so in tip-top form, organizers of the Classic have been hosting a series of training sessions geared towards whipping the young bodybuilders and fitness athletes into shape. PRO of the Classic, Shakira Duglin, gave insight into the program.
We're just helping those competitors who would have come from Mrs. Schoolboy and Miss Schoolgirl to learn how to pose with the support of the professional athletes in bodybuilding and some of the amateur athletes from bodybuilding. There will be a continuation of sessions like this only because teachers, coaches, clubs, groups would need the support. This is not something that everyone would know how to support their athletes with. So moving forward, we're going to work on sessions here at the gymnasium, and we're going to also include coaches from outside coming into Barbados to add to our knowledge base to help assist the coaching here in Barbados.
Duglin says the response to the program so far has been great, and she has also seen interest building for the sport at this junior level.
They are very comfortable. I am impressed by a lot of their confidence. I am assured in feeling like maybe from seeing their peers go on stage and some of them would have come first, second, or third, they also feel inclined to try bodybuilding. So a lot of them here today are very confident and comfortable trying and attempting to go on stage this year. I believe that there are a lot of interest this year. Last year I would have experienced a number of teachers and parents reaching out to me for support for November's contest last year. And with that basis, I thought it would have been smart to include those kids in this event and just build on that momentum and build on that interest. So today we do have the St. George Primary School teachers even here present today. We do have the professional athletes supporting this somewhat of a movement because they would have also gone through the Mr. and Miss Schoolboy and Schoolgirl event. So they know what it's like to compete for the first time as either teeny tot adults, teenagers. So I believe we will garner a lot of interest as we move forward.
Among the participants is junior Miss Schoolgirl St. George Primary Shakina Applewaite, and she's learned a lot from the training, but most of all, it has boosted her confidence.
I feel better now that I have witnessed it already. I feel better.
The Roger Boys Classic is set for May 10th with the IFBB World Cup on the following day, the 11th, at the Wildy Gymnasium.
The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
The CARICOM badge for Boy Scouts and Girl Guides has been hailed as a benefit to the young people of Barbados and the region. On tonight's Youth Entrepreneurship Report, Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment Charles Griffith says the initiative is proactive and its impact will be felt by young people for years to come. Trevor Thorpe has more.
The minister said government is committed through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment to ensure that this country's young people are moving in a direction that will bring pride to their peers. He called on the officials of the Boy Scouts and Girl Guides associations to embark on a major push and be more proactive and work on getting Boy Scouts and Girl Guides movements in all the primary schools across Barbados.
There's a need to have our young people involved in structured activities that will benefit them and benefit country. And I don't think that we have the Girls Guides and the Boys Scouts in as many primary schools as I would like. And I will do my role and my part by asking my officers to embark on a program to assist you in terms of swelling the numbers that are currently involved in these two organizations. To the youngsters who are here, like I said, you're walking on history's page because those who will receive badges, it is a first. And as mentioned in the different messages, it is something that I believe should be worn with pride.
Calling for males to become more involved with the Scout movement, he told of the ceremony, government has embarked on an initiative to get more clubs operating in the island.
Government, through my ministry, one of the things that we're proposing to do is to have a broad-based push this year, financial year and calendar year, to increase the number of clubs that we have on island. We have started the process. We had 22 clubs form in the last financial year. This year, I will be pushing extremely hard. And I heard the name Vanda Reed Beckles in the room, and she would tell you that is a major focus of mine, to help our young people to fly. The reality is that there are too many diamonds in the rough that go unnoticed because nobody is paying attention to them.
The minister complimented CARICOM Youth Ambassador Ashley Lashley for her work with the youth and told the recipients much is expected of them and to wear the badge with pride to themselves and their country.
It must be something that speaks to the fact that I am going to give back service to fellow man regardless. The badge is just an add-on. But really and truly, my life should be a life of service. And if you as a young person do that and you're able to influence a couple others within your grouping, then at the end of the day, this initiative triggered by Ms. Lashley would have worth all that went into it in terms of making it a reality. We need to have strong young people on this island. The truth is that we're an aging population, and our young people are the ones we would have rocked the cradle before, but now they're the ones that are going to rock the cradle that will carry our future.
The minister said the initiative is an investment in them for the future. Trevor Thorpe for the Yes Business Report.
The CDB and the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean are finalizing a memorandum of understanding through which the two institutions can collaborate to assist the region. Further insight was provided by CDB's President Daniel Best, who was in Washington, D.C. for the spring meetings of the International Monetary Fund.
quite a few key spaces, private sector being one of them, renewable energy and energy efficiency being another, the transportation space, and infrastructure generally, and the climate action space as areas where we will collaborate to move the development of Latin America and the Caribbean forward.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Well, Anne-Marie is back. That means it's time for more sports.
And I promise you cricket, as the Barbados Pelicans are currently up against the Windward Island Infernos at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad and Tobago with the Cricket West Indies breakout lead. Batting first, the Pelicans are currently 75 for 3. Now, having served as West Indies vice-captain for a period of time, wicketkeeper batsman Joshua De Silva says it would be a no-brainer to accept the West Indies Test captaincy if offered the opportunity, following the resignation of Craig Brathwaite last month. With Cricket West Indies yet to announce Brathwaite's replacement, speculations have been widespread about the best-suited candidate to assume the role, with De Silva, Guyanese Tevin Imlach, and Barbados' Shea Hope among those being viewed as having leadership potential.
I was the vice captain up until, I guess, last year. I was still the vice captain going into Pakistan. So, yeah, I guess my name might be in a hat, but, you know, if it happens, it happens. I'll take it with an honor and pride to represent the West Indies as a skipper. But if it doesn't, it's life. It happens. But, yeah, I'm just excited and want to play cricket for West Indies. If that is as a skipper or just as a player, the best I can do is, just happy to play.
Though De Silva, who has 33 Test caps, travelled with the Test team as vice-captain for the two-match Pakistan tour, he did not feature in either Test as Imlach assumed wicket-keeping duties in the drawn series, which ended 1-1. However, the 26-year-old, motivated by that disappointment, returned to the West Indies Championship with renewed focus and an intent to reclaim a spot in the West Indies starting 11 for the upcoming 3-Test series against Australia, as he delivered a stellar performance of 583 runs at an average of 64.77.
He left out the 11 in Pakistan. Was tough, but sometimes things happen to make you want to work harder. So for me, it was just to come back and go back to the drawing board, come back to first-class cricket and dominate that format and show them that, look, it's okay and I'm fine. I'm in a mental place. I'm good mentally, and just how I'm gonna get back into that team is the question. And I did all that I can, I believe. So it's just about, I put my hand up and it's up to them to select me.
The series against Australia features 3 Test matches between June 25th to July 16th. A sticker may not seem like the most significant thing to give a person, but a former Barbados cricketer knows the major impact it can have. Inspired by Pastor Courtney Salmon, the customized cricket bats and balls motivational stickers initiative has been launched. Aimed at motivating cricketers, the stickers feature inspirational quotes and affirmations. In a presentation during the launch at Sky Mall to Director of Sport of the National Sports Council, Neil Morrill, Pastor Salmon said the initiative is more than just enhancing on-field performances.
The purpose of the stickers is to help provide batters with that much needed mental inspiration when they are in the pavilion or at the wicket. I invite you to join me and just picture a cricketer preparing to face a daunting bowler, glancing at that bat, down at the bat, and reading a motivational quote that resonates with them, affirming them to never give up, as you heard from the children this morning, be patient, keep trying, along with other motivational quotes. These words of affirmation, along with the batter's commitment to practice, determination, and the joy of playing the game, will help propel them to greater achievements. These simple yet powerful motivational stickers aim to instill confidence and foster a positive mindset while batting.
That's Newsnight. Thank you so much for viewing. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.